Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Cyclical Investors Club YouTube channel. My name's Corey Kramer. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Boeing stock. This one came in by request down in the comment section of one of my other videos. If you have a request you'd like me to take a look at, just put it down in the comment section. If it's a stock that's in the S&P 500, I post those videos on YouTube for free, and the rest I post in Patreon and in the full Cyclical Investors Club service over on Seeking Alpha. Those links will be down in the description. Patreon's $5 a month, and if you join there, you can get a big discount to the full Cyclical Investors Club service if you decide to join there. As always, this isn't individual investing advice. This is just how I analyze stocks. Okay, so Boeing. I really don't like to talk and write about Boeing very much because it has a lot of fans. And I first was bearish on Boeing back in January of 2008 when I first started doing analysis full time. That was the first month, and I was mostly bullish on the cyclicality potential of Boeing. And it rose a little bit after that, and then they had the MAX crashes, and it fell, and then we had COVID, and it fell. And I've written a couple times since then about how investors could have avoided some of this, but it kind of gets to the point where it's like a story that you believe, or it's a story that you don't really believe. But what I want to point out is, if we just go to this year in actual earnings, since 2014, if you add up all their actual positive earnings per share, and you add up all their negative earnings per share, which have been negative for 5 years now, they've made no money in 10 years. So that's just the plain fact of the matter. Now, let's take a look to compare to Airbus over this time period, just so we know that it's not like a COVID thing or anything else. So we'll just go to the Paris Exchange for this one, maybe. Yeah, so Airbus has had some volatile earnings over the same time period, but if you bought this stock for $56 back here, or 56 euros back here in 2014, you would have almost earned your $56 back. You would have earned about 40 euros, back per share when you bought it. So it's almost earned its money back from that initial investment 10 years ago or 9 years ago. It's on track to earn back in about 11 years an investment back then. So that's their direct competition. And Boeing is on track right now to never earn back earnings, an investment via earnings from that time period. So I already made a video, and you should really check it out, about why I don't buy turnaround stocks, and this is a good example so far of why. Now, eventually, there's not that many aircraft producers, so eventually Boeing will turn around someday, most likely, if they can build better planes that are more reliable. And right now, analysts are expecting earnings, but I'm sure if we went back 2 years ago, they would have expected earnings in this year, and that didn't happen, right? So it's just an immediate avoid for me. Nobody knows when the turnaround will happen, because all it takes, as we just saw with the doors flying off in mid-flight, that this could happen just over and over again. It's really hard to turn something like that around. So I was thinking about this after I got this request, and I thought, what would potentially make me interested in Boeing stock? And I really think the only way, until I saw earnings actually coming in for a few years positively and on a positive track, really, it would take somebody like an Elon Musk to come in and take over the company. I mean, he has, and I'm not exactly like a Musk fanboy. I don't make a bunch of articles on him, or write articles, or make videos on him. But he's shown with SpaceX that he has the ability to hire really good engineers to do things that are kind of, on one hand, cutting edge, on the other hand, just a workhorse of launching satellites, a visionary that can run like an aerospace company. There was never any reason for Boeing to like go cheap on all the stuff that's going wrong, because there's only like 2 or 3 airplane manufacturers in the world. So they should always be building the highest quality aircraft. And there should never be any excuses. There should never be any excuse for cutting corners, because the airlines have to buy these planes basically no matter how much they cost. Right? So if it was up to me, Musk would sell Twitter X, because that was always a bad idea for him to run that. Probably sell part of his stake in Tesla if he can get his extra controlling shares, his 2-class share system that he kind of wants now. And then take that money, and everybody in the world would probably be better off if he went and bought Boeing and built the next generation of like fuel efficient planes and space vehicles and everything else. So if I read in the paper that Musk was coming in, that might tempt me to like buy the stock, and is just on a whim, right? I mean, just as, a speculative bet that he could probably improve things a little bit. But until then, I mean, this is like a show me story. I mean, these guys really need to put together 3 or 4 years without any problems where they're earning money. And then maybe we can conclude that kind of things have been addressed and fixed going forward. Because it is like an oligopoly or a duopoly almost. So there's definitely a benefit of that, but you have to have a company that understands the situation that they're in, and that they need better quality control on every single thing that they do. So those are all my extensive thoughts on Boeing. Sometimes you just look at it and you're like, hey, look, these guys aren't making money. A similar stock I wrote about at a similar time is Carnival Cruise Lines, which is kind of, I mean, they don't make boats, right? But you can see the money losing. And, I was bearish on them right when COVID started. And a lot of people were getting excited because the stock price fell. I've wrote tons of bearish articles on here. But you just look at the earnings, right? Yeah, they used to earn money, but now they're not. They're still losing money every year. I guess this year maybe they broke even on adjusted earnings. See what the unadjusted earnings are still a little negative. But so it's a similar type of thing. It's like, well, when do you want to come in and buy this? Well, I don't, I mean, who knows how long this will go on? This is kind of the same thing analysts expect, but they expected this 2 years ago and it never happened. So it's just unpredictable, and you want quality businesses, at least I do, and I don't want to be kind of gambling on like turnarounds like Boeing. So that is my take on Boeing. It doesn't mean that somebody can't make money on it. If they're buying it now, if things go well, they probably will do okay. But I don't think it's very predictable at the time. Okay, if you found this useful, hit the subscribe button. Tell me what you think down in the comment section. And if you have a request, let me know. I'll get it on the list. And usually I do a more thorough earnings-based analysis, but when you don't have any earnings, that's kind of hard to do for some of these stocks. Thanks a lot, and I'll see everybody later. Bye.